Okay, first and foremost, you guys know me, Luther Ragsdale, broker, CEO of Platinum Real Estate. Listen, we have some new exciting stuff that's going on. I won't say it's really new, but every Tuesday, 8:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m. until 9:15 every single week, we have a private coaching call with Platinum agents and myself. It's a great time for you to hear what you need to do the next 7 days. So how does it work? We actually take about 45 minutes and we talk about what you should do the next 7 days. It is a private call. We do not record it. It's a coaching call for Platinum agents only. Platinum real estate agents, you can log into the agent portal. Do not miss the Tuesday private coaching call with me every single Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. If you are not a Platinum agent, but you would love to have coaching, or you're interested in our 100% plan, please feel free to contact me, Luther@PlatinumRealEstate.com, Luther@PlatinumRealEstate.com, or you can also go to our website, PlatinumRealEstate.com. But we have great career opportunities for our coaching plan as well as our 100% plan. If you would like to know more, please contact me. Top Producer Thursdays, every Thursday, 12:30 right here now. You can register at my website, LutherRagsdale.com. You can click the events link. We have a lot of great events. We have some great webinars. That's every Thursday at 12:30. We also have some great boot camps. You can register at LutherRagsdale.com. Now, I know in the past, the only way to register was via email, or the only way to register is if you received a text message. Well, no longer. Now you can go to LutherRagsdale.com, click the events link, and you can register for the webinars, boot camps, etc. The next boot camp, May 4th and 5th, it's the listing boot camp. We always say to list is to last. You can go to LutherRagsdale.com, click the event link, and all of my boot camps, they're up there. The next one's going to be a listing boot camp, but we have a lot of different boot camps, from internet and social media boot camp. We have a great investors boot camp. We have a sales and negotiating boot camp. All of the boot camps is 12 CE credits, so you will receive 12 CE credits. Platinum real estate agents, you can attend absolutely free. When you register, the promo code is your real estate license. So would love to see you guys at the upcoming boot camp. May 4th and 5th is going to be a great time. Now, with all of that being said, today we have our special guest. You know, she's been with us for quite some time, so I really don't have to introduce her, but I will anyway. Miss Tamara Burt, she's my partner in crime. She does an excellent job. She is our mortgage lender, and I tell you guys, vendors, partners are very, very important. As your broker, whenever somebody calls me with a mortgage issue, it's never our preferred vendor. It's always somebody other than Tamara. Matter of fact, I have had issues with mortgage folk, and I've called Tamara, and she worked it out. I have had issues with mortgage folks. I call Tamara, and she says, hey, this is the problem. This is what's wrong. Just recently, just to give you a testimony, just recently had an agent losing a deal because the mortgage company was telling them it was going to take 45 days to close a deal. That is way too long. I called Tamara. Tamara said, nope, I'm going to get it done quicker. We shipped it over to her. She's working on it. It's going to be a done deal. What's my point? Vendors, partners, these folks are very important. They can make or break your deal. Tamara does not a good job, but a wonderful job. She will be there May 4th and 5th. to answer questions, to talk to you guys, all of that kind of good stuff. Tamara.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, good to have you today.
You too. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the testimonial.
No problem, no problem. Hey, it's your show. Tell us about down payment assistance, please.
Okay, so last time we got together, we talked about Georgia Dream, and we can take some of those questions at the end. And so we had so many questions, we did not get into Chenoweth. So today we're going to cover Chenoweth, which is available to the entire country, not just specific areas. So we're going to kind of cover that a little bit and start right smack dab in the middle of this presentation, since we did Georgia Dream last time. And of course, my cell phone number will remain on the screen for you, always right there in the bottom right. Please feel free, send me a text, give me a call, let's chat, maybe do some coffee, and talk about how we can help partner and become a real solidified team together to help our customers reach their goal. So down payment assistance is for borrowers who are first-time home buyers. So what's being offered here, we're going to cover what properties are eligible, we're going to cover guidelines. So the programs being offered, properties being eligible, and then the program guidelines. So that's what we're going to cover for Chenoweth. And then after we're finished, we'll go ahead and move on to answering questions. In between all of this, we're going to take some questions about Chenoweth to fine tune it for you. Okay. So Luther, if you can move me to the next slide, we're going to go ahead and talk about specifically that this is an FHA program, okay? There is two different kinds. We're going to talk about the Edge, we're going to talk about the Advantage, and then the third kind is going to be a conventional program that we're going to be discussing here. Unlike Georgia Dream, that unless it's the hardest hit fund and you forgive it after 5 years, all other Georgia Dream does not forgive for the full 30 years. Chenoweth is going to forgive on the Edge program after 3 years. So it has pretty close to the same income qualifications. So if you recall, about $74,000 is what we trained last time for the Georgia Dream. So Chenoweth is going to be very close to that on the Edge program. If they are under the 115% median income, then they're going to qualify for this program. And after 3 years, we're going to forgive that second mortgage. Now, the Rate Advantage program, so we'll go a lot in detail on this on a future slide, but this has a second mortgage. Instead of it being forgiven, they're going to make payments on this for 10 years, and then it's paid in full. Well, why would they take something like that when they can take the Edge and it's forgiven? They're going to take the Advantage because they make too much money to qualify for any down payment assistance, yet they're having trouble saving the money to get into a home. So this is going to carry a 3.5% second for them and an FHA first. So they could still get in the home without a down payment, okay? So it is a program that's taking advantage. So quite a few children, and gallon of milk's $5. It's hard to save money in today's climate, the economic conditions. So that allows them to be able to do that. They also offer a conventional loan at 97% on a first mortgage with a 10-year fixed on a 10-year mortgage. And I go through all of that to determine which one's going to be right for them, because there's no one solution for everyone. Typically, why, Tamara, am I going to send them conventional? Student loan debt is the number one reason. Had a customer yesterday, $100,000 in student loan debt. Well, FHA is going to require a 1% payment versus Fannie Mae is going to take the income repayment. And that is a future, conversation, not to get into it, but just more to give you an example of why we would look at one program over another. The point is to make sure that when talking to the borrowers that we have not a 5-minute conversation, but, sometimes 30, 40 minutes, an hour, really understanding their true situation. Is Georgia Dream better? Is Edge better? Is Advantage better? Is Home Ready better? And really narrowing down and fine tuning to come up with the best plan that's going to meet their needs. Okay. So we look at the conventional option as well. So the assistance is up to 3.5%. That's what they're going to pay. This is not for closing costs. So why would 3.5% be better than taking a Georgia Dream? Well, Georgia Dream, if it's not in the HHF area, is $5,000. Well, if you buy a $200,000 house, then Chenoa is going to give them $7,000. So you can see very quickly why I would be looking at Chenoa instead of Georgia Dream. Should they have the fund, not have the funds, or can't get a gift from a family member? Keep in mind, it is always better to have the down payment and or get a gift from a family member, because they get a better rate and program than they're going to ever get from one of these down payment programs. But at the same time, we want to help somebody start to become a homeowner and be there to show them how to do that if they cannot save the money to do so. So this program is going to open it up to those that are low to moderate income, as well as those that are high income, that on a $300,000 house, they just can't come up with the $10,000 that they're going to need for their down payment, and instead be able to look at the Advantage program and just have a first and second mortgage. So I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on that, and we're going to go more in depth on this, but I just wanted to see, Luther typically has some questions after each slide. Just wanted to see if we had any quick questions before we move on to the next section.
Yeah, any questions? The chat is open. The Q&A is open. Shoot us some questions on what questions you may have about the different programs. Because we talked about DPA Edge, Rate Advantage, and the conventional 97% loan. Give us the down and dirty, quick scenario of why one is better than the other. Why you would put a client in one compared to the other, Tamara.
That's a great question, Luther. Absolutely fantastic question. I will tell you, the questions I ask your borrowers right from the beginning, I let them know I've been doing this 28 years. Let's have a very extensive conversation on what's going to be best for you. And then the first question I ask them, what's your credit score? Second question I ask them is, what county are you buying in? Now, because I do the entire country, there are certain counties that are available with much higher down payment assistance, and Georgia has 4 of them: DeKalb, Fulton, Clayton, and Douglas. So if somebody tells me they're buying in DeKalb, Fulton, Clayton, or Douglas, I'm immediately starting to veer my conversations in that direction to the Georgia Dream HHF $15,000 assistance that's available. So of course, my next question is, how much money do you make a year? Not only do you make, but anybody living in the house over the age of 18 makes, because we have to use that to disqualify even though they may not be on the loan. So my first will always be, do you fit in the HHF? Then I'm going to look at, do you fit
in the Georgia Dream 7500? Are you a nurse? Are you a first responder? Are you disabled? Is someone else disabled? Those classifications get $7,500. Then I'm going to look at, depending upon purchase price, that's what it's going to come down to. If you are heading over the $5,000 amount on a purchase price of, say, 150-ish, then I'm going to be looking at Genoa now, because Genoa is going to give you more money than you're going to get from Georgia Dream, because they're going to give you 3.5% versus a flat $5,000. So that's really the main components of deciding which route to go. Then, of course, if someone is making too much money, they're calling and they're making $80,000 or $90,000, then we're going to be looking at the advantage and putting them in a program with a first and second together. Because ultimately what they want is they want to be a homeowner, and they just want help and guidance on how they could do that. Even if they don't have the funds to do it today, is there a way for you to still show them houses this weekend and get them into a home with some down payment assistance? Did that clarify that for you, Luther?
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Wonderful. That's what I was looking for. A great explanation there. Questions, anyone? Remember, the chat line is open. And the Q&A is open as well. Chat line is open. Q&A is open as well. Feel free to shoot us questions.
Okay, well, we do also, while we wait, we have the next video, the next slide, where we can get maybe just a little bit more into some specifics here. The type of eligible property. So let's stay on this slide for a minute. Now, if you post a question, we're going to make sure it gets answered for you, okay? So, is this for investment? No, it is not. Is it for second home? No, it is not. Like the Georgia Dream, first-time home buyer is clarified as being somebody 3 years. Okay, so they've been out of a home for 3 years. But they will allow people who have been less than 3 years to purchase a property and use their funds. But it is only for a primary owner occupied property, single family home, condo, and new construction will be allowed, okay? What they aren't looking for is a manufactured home. They're not going to do a manufactured home. They're also, like Georgia Dream, same for them as well, no duplexes, no triplexes, no quads, single family homes. That's what they're looking for. Whether we agree with it or not, there is a benefit to buying your first home as a duplex, and I know I agree with Luther on that. But unfortunately, down payment assistance is not available. They would have to have their own funds available to purchase something of that nature. If they do new construction, it's also allowed. We're going to calculate out the taxes not on what it is currently in the system, typically $200. We're going to actually use future amount of those taxes. So these are the type of properties that are available. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide, and let's talk about some guidelines, okay? We have bankruptcy must be less than 24 months, okay? There's no, go ahead and put all that up there for me, Luther. I appreciate that. Thank you. So obviously ineligible properties, we talked about that. Manufactured housing, we cannot manually underwrite this, and we cannot repair for any escrow. What does repair for escrow mean? That means something's wrong with the roof, as an example, and we want to put $2,000 in escrow and fix the roof later. No, the roof must be fixed prior to us closing, okay? Like Georgia Dream, you are not locking these loans, and I covered that extensively with the customers, and that's more of an issue when rates are rising, but we're staying pretty steady right now.
That means that once they have the appraisal, then they can lock in their loan. They cannot lock it before then, okay? And it must be an approved eligible, where I have closed several of your loans for you guys under an approved refer, meaning they could meet the guidelines, but the computer's not giving it to them. A person actually has to approve this versus the computer approving the loan. And as you know, most loans are now approved by a computer. So with that being said, you cannot do that on this program. The computer says yes, we get to move forward. The computer says no, we do not move forward. Or even if it says refer and we want somebody to be taking a look at it, we're not going to be moving forward under that scenario. So any questions on any of this before we go to the next slide? Did you have any questions on this, Luther?
No, I do not think I do. Any questions from anyone? Any questions from anyone? Well, one thing that comes to mind. So you did just explain about that approval. What's the difference between getting straight computerized approval compared to somebody manually? Does that mean that something's wrong?
Very good question.
Personally look at it. You know, why?
Very good question.
You know, how's that work?
Okay, very good question. So what's happening, you may have seen it in the news, is they've begun to get a little harsher on some of the approvals, right? So where before I would get somebody approved at 55%, it'd be no big deal. And I still do 55, 58, 59% debt ratios. I need to feel comfortable in doing it. Typically there's a spouse not on the loan, and so I feel comfortable closing those. But the computer is determining based on risks if it's going to approve it. And this is how all loans are done in the United States. It's called the AUS system. So it's going to take a look at the factors. How much money do they make? How long have they been on their jobs? How many late payments? And it's all done, believe it or not, within about a minute or two. And then the computer is going to issue an approval. So the computer will do typically higher debt ratios with higher credit scores. Lower credit scores, it wants lower debt ratios. If it's going to be done by a person, then typically we have to get that debt ratio front and back, both combined, below 45, because you cannot on a manual exceed the 45. But if it's done by a computer and the computer says they can have 56% debt ratio, then we're going to close 56%. Now with Genoa, you cannot exceed 55. 55% is going to be their maximum. Would you be comfortable closing somebody at 55? Why wouldn't you be comfortable? In my opinion, I always try to do the best for the customer, the right thing for the customer, not for today and getting an extra $5,000 on closing their loan, but more, hey, can you live in this home comfortably? Can you still go do things? Can you enjoy life? Can you buy groceries? Can you pay for gas, etc.? Take care of your children, have fun with them. If the higher you push a debt ratio like that, the less likelihood their quality of life is going to be great, right? So we still want to put them in a situation that's comfortable, but there are extenuating circumstances. I have a customer getting ready to close right now on 58%. Why am I comfortable closing at 58%? The wife is not on the loan. She can't be on the loan due to circumstance. And I know I have $4,000 more in monthly income. So therefore their debt ratio really as a household is only about 22. So I personally am very comfortable and justified in closing them at 58. Now, if there's no additional income, I'm really going to be a little cautious on closing that customer and making sure they truly understand what kind of quality of life they'll have, because we don't really want to be debt poor. We don't really want to be house poor, you know. So that's kind of it. Let's take a look quickly at these guidelines here. You probably have had them up here for a minute. So we do have to, and this will be our last slide here, and then I can take questions on this in Georgia Dream. But bankruptcy is going to be over 24 months, no gaps more than 30 days in employment for a borrower. How is that different? So we'll pause here for a second. I personally close gaps as long as they are 5 months and 29 days. I will close that borrower with a gap that big, but not under a down payment assistance program. Okay, so if they don't hit 6 months, they can close. If they hit 6 months, then they have to be back to work for 6 months before we can proceed for them. Okay, but Jenna was saying, whoa, wait a minute, we're not going to do it unless there is no 30-day gap. So that's kind of a little thing there. Okay, all borrowers must retain ownership of the property. So you move out of the property, same for Georgia Dream. You move out of the property, you sell the property, you do it within that 3-year period, you're going to owe back the money. You miss any payments in that 36 months, you're going to owe back, you're going to have to restart that clock again. So it's very, very important. And I strongly have the conversation with them. And then I send it to them in an email as well. Hey guys, so excited you're approved. So excited we're getting you into this home. You've got this program here. Please make sure you keep in mind the payment to your house must be first. Must always, always be first. You know, and just kind of cover that basis with them. So that is our 2 programs. I know we only have about 10 more minutes here. So did want to see this and or Georgia Dream, any down payment questions you may have, and try to get all of those answered for you now. And of course, if you are holding a seminar for down payment assistance, I do those. I get booked up pretty quick. So if you'd like to do one and have me come in, speak, and be a part, I have 2 this weekend, 2 next weekend. Just let me know and we can talk about how to do that. If you notice right there to the bottom right, there's my phone number. Text me, call me, 770-896-5001. Let's chat or have coffee and discuss how to help you grow your business together. So what other questions can I help you with today, Luther?
All right, I have a question here from one of my agents. It says here, Luther, can you please ask Tamara to repeat the counties, please? So,
sure. That's a great question. Yeah, great question. So if you're holding that first time home buyer seminar, and like I said, I think I have like 7 or 8 of them coming up here. And the more you do, the more people will attend. So the first one, you may only have a few, but in the second one, I have one of your agents that's a Luther agent. She had about 5. Now we have over 20, I think 22 coming to the next one. So, you know, as you do it, you're going to continue to have more and more people come. And it's good to have the first one with a little less. It lets you learn what to do. But the counties that personally, if I was doing it and would be looking at would be DeKalb, Fulton, Clayton, and Douglas. Those are going to offer you the $15,000, okay? So they can use that for their down payment. They can use that for their closing costs. So now you're not trying to get the sellers to do closing costs. The maximum loan amount is $250,000. That's going to be our maximum. And then $74,000 in income for a family of 4, $84,000 in income for a family more than 4. They will do it at a 640, but they can buy more house at a 660 credit score. Okay, so they're going to really limit their debt ratio. Okay, and they're limiting their debt ratio to make sure, kind of like we talked about earlier, they're making sure that their quality of life and that they never have a foreclosure, because the price point of the house is something they're going to be able to afford long term. So they do bring their debt ratio down. So I get calls all the time for people wanting a Georgia Dream or Genoa, but miraculously, a lot of times they end up finding their down payment. The closing I have today, they found their down payment because they were going to be restricted on how much house they could buy, and they wanted more house. So they came up with their down payment. And that is something I go in great length with them and discuss with them. So Fulton, DeKalb, Clayton, and Douglas. The other 3 counties, if you happen to be on here and service all of Georgia, there are 3 more, but one is over near the East Coast, and 2 of them are way south, and that is Muskogee, Chatham, and Bibb. Muskogee, Chatham, and Bibb. If you happen to be south or east, then those 3 counties also offer the $15,000, and I'm able to assist you with that as well. Great question. Great question. Luther?
Okay. Questions, anyone? Chat line is wide open. Q&A is wide open. We are here for you. Yes.
Well, and Luther, one thing to kind of keep in mind is they'll probably run out of money at some point here this year. I mean, potentially. They are in the final phase of how much money is left for this program. And so it is a first come, first serve. If you are a new agent and you are trying to build your business and build it up with referrals, and you are offering somebody $15,000 as a first time home buyer to get in a home, the amount of referrals you're going to get would be exponential, because you helped them get into that home, and you helped them with their down payment and closing costs, and they're going to be extremely appreciative. You know, going out there and trying to drum up new business, we all know is hard, but it's doable if you're like you're doing every Tuesday. You're out there, you're making it happen, you're being consistent. But this is a tool, an asset for you to be able to drum up that business faster and build a sphere of people quicker. But this is not something where you wait. This is something where you're going to want to do it in the next, relatively quickly. I would start some sort of program here in the next 90 days or so if you really want to take advantage. Thank you, Luther.
Yes, questions, anyone? Questions? Chat line is open. Q&A is open. Do I have any questions? First of all, great information. Questions, anyone? Question, does the client have to make a minimum of $70,000 per year to apply for this help, or depend on how much money the house costs?
Okay, so that's a great question.
Good.
So Genoa does not have a maximum, so they're not going to cap it at $250,000 like Georgia Dream is, but they must make less than $74,000 to get the forgivable. If they make more than $74,000, then they're going to be repaying the second mortgage on a 10-year program, which is small. I mean, typically I see $50, $60 a month for something like that. So it's not a lot. And they're so excited to be getting in the home. Without the down payment, it becomes irrelevant. But that is a great, great question. So that is another reason Genoa might be used over Georgia Dream. If somebody found a $300,000 house, we're going to look at Genoa before we're looking at Georgia Dream. And typically if they're buying $300,000, they're more in the high income earner. Therefore, they're going to be paying the second mortgage back over the 10-year period. But great question.
Now, okay, now you lost me a little bit. Which program had the maximum of $250,000?
Georgia Dream is maximum of $250,000.
Okay.
For those 4 areas I discussed. The other 3 areas, if you're south and east, it's $200,000.
Okay. Gotcha. Questions, anyone? questions, anyone?
But again, you have questions. Instead of always trying to give the information to the customer, they really should speak to me or someone, of course, that is doing these loans so that we can make sure we're giving them the most accurate information and really finding out the best program for them to move forward and taking that initial time together to go through everything. There's a reason I have a 98% close ratio. I take my time. I want to understand their situation. And even though something might not be on credit, I'm trying to find out, is there something that I'm going to find later that's going to cause a problem when I could just find it before you put them in your car and drive them around? So let's really understand, that situation as best as possible to get them the right loan for them.
Couple of questions here. Two questions, actually. One question, are both of these options available if using a VA loan?
No. Excellent question. Genoa is not available for VA, but Georgia Dream is available for VA. And for the VA loan, okay, if they are not in one of the 4 areas for the HHF, it is not advantageous for them to take the program. No matter how I work it up, it is not advantageous for them. It is better to ask the sellers to assist with closing costs. But in the HHF area, it may very well be better because, as you know, I do hold the VA certification. So for veterans, they don't have a down payment, but they still have closing costs. And if the sellers aren't going to pay them, then the Georgia Dream may be the best way for those to get paid, as well as their funding fee. So, for that, it may be a better situation. But Georgia Dream typically has higher rates. If the veteran has credit scores over 700, then they could get just getting a regular VA. So that is something I discuss with them at great length before they decide how they're going to proceed. Georgia Dream also takes about 45 days to close, where a VA loan, you can close in 30 days or less. So as long as everybody's on target, we're collecting everything up front, we can close them quicker that way as well. And in the seller's market, that's what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to close them quickly at the best possible program that we can give them.
Question. Another question says here, is the $200,000 cap for Douglas County under Genoa?
So the $250,000 cap for Douglas County does not apply to Genoa. The $250,000 cap for Douglas County only applies to HHF Georgia Dream. Good question. Very good question. So if somebody's trying to buy in Douglas and they're buying $300,000, I'm going to look at Genoa before I look at HHF, because they probably will determine that, of course, what their income is, and they're most likely going to get disqualified on that income.
Excellent, wonderful information. Question, what info the client has to have to be ready to talk to her? Let me say this. That's an excellent question. And here's the point that I want to make to agents. My goal for this webinar, and the reason we came together and said, let's do this webinar, please understand, I repeat, I do not want to make you guys mortgage professionals. I don't want you guys to start trying to answer questions. I don't want you guys to start talking programs. Here's what's important for you to know. As a marketing, as a advertising platform, is to say, contact me today to learn about no money down programs. Contact me today to learn about $15,000 worth of down payment assistance. Contact me today and move into your next house within 30 days with no money down. This is what you need to say. Once they contact you, Tamara, it's your game. I don't want you guys to start getting into VA and FHA and Chinawa and this and that. And that's not your job. That's not your specialty. That's not your lane. You want to use the information as a call to action. I want you to contact me because you can buy a house for no money down. Contact me for the details. They contact you for the details, then you directly get them with Tamara. Homebuyer seminars, huge. And you can use flyers and social media and postcards and everything to say, hey, come to my homebuyer seminar and learn how you can, purchase a home. We have down payment assistance. We have this, we have that, and use that as a call to action to contact you. Then once they contact you, then it goes to Tamara. Here's the mistake. Do not try to start quoting interest rates or to start talking about different programs or to say this program will or won't work for you. This is not what we want to do, okay? We want to just simply say, hey, this is what's out there. Contact me for more information. Wouldn't you agree, Tamara?
Oh, absolutely, Luther, because I'm going to really dive deep into their true situation to find out which one is best for them, or is it best for them at all? Because maybe they can only buy a $140,000 house, but they're looking at a $190,000 house, and they need to understand the ramifications of all of that. So we really take our time, and I explain that to them, and me and my team, make sure that they understand what we need to do to help them achieve their goals in the proper way with the right loan, because it is a team. And that's why I bring all my realtors into it. I get permission from the customer, and we work as a team, the borrower, the realtor, myself, to try and help get that customer to the closing table in the most efficient way possible, where they're the happiest in getting the loan that they should be receiving.
Excellent. One more question. My time is getting limited, but I can take one more question. It says here, Tamara, is there any issues, for example, how much money the buyer have in their savings account? So I guess the question is, what if I have a lot of money in my savings account, checking account? Can I still do some of these down payment assistance type of programs, even if I'm pretty liquid and if I have money in the bank?
That's a great question. No, you cannot. Typically, if you have 20% of the assets that are needed to buy a home, so a $100,000 house and you have $20,000, you are not going to qualify for any down payment assistance. And I've even had a borrower tell me, well, I'll just take it out of the bank and put it in my mattress and then I can have the money. No. It does not work that way, because they're going to see your bank records. This money is genuinely for people who do not have it saved, that are having trouble saving it, but can, maybe they have a month or two that they have that they could fall back on, but they cannot come up with $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 to close. That's what this is for. The person who has a lot of assets, they need to use their assets, and they'll end up with a better loan program if they use their assets anyway. This is for somebody who doesn't have a choice in the matter.
Got it indeed. Hey, you guys, excellent information, excellent webinar. Listen, part 1 you can find in the agent portal, Platinum Real Estate Agents. If you did not hear part 1, go into the agent portal, click training videos. Part 1 is already in the agent portal. Part 2 will be in the agent portal. Next, anyone on this line, please go to LutherRagsdale.com, click the events button, You can register for all of the upcoming webinars. You can register for boot camps. Seats go quick. You can register. So every Thursday at 12:30, we are right here giving quality information. All you have to do is go to lutherragsdale.com and register. Next, boot camps. We have some 2-day boot camps full of great, impactful information. The next is going to be on listings, but we have a lot of boot camps, from listings to investor boot camps to social media, internet marketing boot camps, you name it. We have the boot camps coming up. Register, get your seats now. That next one, that listing, we always say, to list is to last. It is a must for your overall success. Platinum Real Estate Agents, do not forget, every Tuesday, 8:30 in the morning, private meeting with me. Every 7 days, I want to give you instructions on what you should do this week to be successful. I believe in that private coaching session every Tuesday morning. It helps hold you accountable. It helps gives you vision. It helps motivate you to make sure the next 7 days you are doing what you need to do. You guys know at Platinum Real Estate, we give our agents leads. I always say, if you can't make it at Platinum Real Estate, you just cannot make it in this business. Tamara. Hello,
Luther, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today. Again, if anybody needs me, please text me 770-896-5001 or give me a call. Let's get together. Let's chat about how we can be successful together.
Sounds wonderful. Tamara, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for everything. And one more thing, you guys, those home buyer workshops, the free home buyer seminar is a great way to generate business, to close some deals. Those home buyer seminars is wonderful. Personally, myself, I used to give a home buyer seminar every single month when I was in the business of a licensed real estate agent before I became a broker. I made a lot of money just off of free home buyer seminars. It's great for the community. It's great to get your name out there. It's great to get leads. It's great to close deals. It's great to help people. And here's the beautiful part. Tamara is there to help you with the seminar. She will show up and help you step by step to make this happen. I strongly encourage it. All right, you guys. So I don't think, let me check my line. Yes, we don't have any more questions. So thank you. Please remember, next week, right here, we will have another training, absolutely free webinar every Thursday at 12:30. All you have to do is go to lutherragsdale.com and register. I'm Luther Ragsdale. Appreciate your time. Have a great weekend. Look forward to seeing you soon. May God bless you. See you really, really soon. Thank you.